Not really. A couple life updates have happened. I have moved. I have a place, and by the way, I don't have a garage. So video is gonna be interesting. At least I don't have a garage for the next year, and the housing market's pretty trash. I'm not gonna buy a house in this market. That being said, we're on the way to Rhode Island. My buddy Ryan has a gift for me. No, I'm buying it. I'm giving him cash, of course. And when we get there and I get it, I'm gonna get into why we're buying this and see if we can finally fix a long problem with this car. If you guys know, I've had some weird rear end issues for a long time. The lip on the rear of my subframe that holds the diff together is like practically non-existent. The whole rear end practically swings and is uncontrollable, and the car drives like garbage.
Miles, take exit 33B to merge onto I-95 south towards Providence, Rhode Island.
Anyways, I'm gonna continue driving, focus. It's raining. The video quality is kind of trash, but I'll be back. This rain right now is terrible, but shout out to Ryan. He hooked it up, POR 14 FC subframe, all reinforced on the diff mounts with PBM bushings inside. It came off his car, so I'll show you guys it when we get home, but hell yeah.
Only would he be chased down and tackled by Super Samaritan Deshaun Presley. Deshaun was honored with the citizens
Swear to God, it actually looks like the world's about to end right now. It's like 7:39 in the sky. Looks like this. Wild. All right, chat, we're home. Well, sort of home. This is barely my home anymore, but as you can see, this was welded and reinforced around here, which is really nice. That was welded and reinforced. I've never seen these whole things split off. I think I saw one in like one of the forums of the groups, but as you can see, it's all intact, which is great. And then we got the PBM subframe risers, which is great. So pretty stoked. I don't know if I should do this tonight. Kind of want to though. Be a good challenge, see how fast I can do it. Swap an entire FC subframe in here. All right, so I got the car raised up. I gotta show you guys a couple things before we even bother to take anything off. All right, so we're underneath the car. A couple things. This tow arm hits the chassis. Right there. Likewise, the same thing on the other side. This camber link is pretty much about to hit the chassis. So we need to make marks there and there and figure out exactly where it's hitting, because we're gonna have to hammer this when the subframe's out. So there's that. Please ignore the rust underneath the car. I know this thing is pretty much totaled. I don't need anyone else telling me otherwise. Yeah. I already look roached, because I am. Don't eat spicy stuff. I have like acidic stomach ulcer issues, and it doesn't sit well. Let me show you what's up. Exhaust is off. Brake calipers, rear brake calipers are off. Got pretty much most of the rear coilovers off. I don't have to take off the rear sway bar because I don't have one anymore. As you can see, those. Just taking my time. I'm not even using power tools. The exhaust was getting in the way of everything. So look at this diff mount. It's like hand loose. This is with one hand. Of course. I mean, that's what you get with solid stuff. You gotta tighten this stuff, especially if you're gonna be drifting it. Do bolt checks. Don't be like me. This is one way to take the camber bolt out. Not like this is sketchy, but you know, I'm not the brightest cookie on the planet, but it's a method for sure. Be here by a sleigh ride. Well, the subframe's like just about ready to come out. Got the coilovers disconnected. Here's a funny thing. So I put a pinion snubber on here, how crushed up that thing is. It's supposed to have a pointy tip, by the way, so that explains a lot. Obviously, as you can see, the subframe's out. It was like getting stuck up front, so I just like leveled it out with the jack first and just hammered it side to side so we didn't destroy the studs, because if I destroy the studs, I'm getting rid of this chassis. Gonna pull the subframe out. I left the drive shaft in there for a reason, so it doesn't leak fluid everywhere, as I've learned. I gotta move some things around to make that happen. As you can see, we got the subframe out and inspect the bushing is actually in decent shape, not bad. And even on this side I checked, not bad. What was the other thing? Yeah, I gotta pull everything off and transfer it over. So I think I'm gonna, this is gonna be, this is gonna suck actually, but I think I'm just gonna take the diff off. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take the diff off. I'm gonna try to move it to this side. So wish me luck. Wish me luck. The last thing I need to take off, which is this rear cam bolt. This nut won't back off. I had this issue on the previous subframe from Jim's car and I had to cut it. I don't want to have to cut that. Oh boy, this is gonna be a journey. Shit. I swear this is what I'm working with and it ain't fun. Like, my impact's like messed up, but. Here's the thing, right? It spins on the other end. It's just goofy. Like, what? What is going on? Why will this nut not come off? Like, this side's the nut. Exhibit B, breaker bar. Let's see if this works. And it broke. Fucking broke. Breaker bar didn't break. The cam bolt broke. That's great. That's wonderful. See that? Just my luck. Well, it looks like I will have to source one of those. And I know the dealership won't have them. Wow, literally a clean break. That's wild. Look at that. That freaking sucks. You think the other side will come off good? Let's find out. Snapped. Yep. That is so funny. It snapped clean. Oh. Freaking sides snapped. But as you can see, you probably can't see, they both snapped perfectly flush. I'm not even gonna cry about it at this point. I'm just gonna order new eccentric bolts and I'll call the dealer first thing in the morning, see if they can get it ASAP. Got the subframe out at least. Buy a subframe, I won't miss you. You are so problematic. I still need to take the paint snubber out of the car. As you can see, both of the control arms are ready to pretty much go on there, except the fact that I don't have that eccentric bolt. I thought I was gonna be able to bang this out in one night, but I was fighting that. Spent more time on the eccentric bolt than anything, so it's whatever, that's life. All right, swapped the control arms and the diff over and got the axles bolted up. Obviously we got casualties. The eccentric bolt over there, need to get a new one. These nuts that go to the front diff mount are completely smacked and gonzo. They're no good. So in the morning, we're gonna try to hunt down, obviously that can be sourced, those nuts. I'm gonna call up PVM and ask them what the thread pitch is. Might have spare OEM ones, but brand new is everything. Everything's tightened, good to go. Besides that and that. At least I got this done in the nighttime. Oh, dude, this kind of sucks. At least it looks good. Nice. Let's pray this video doesn't prolong. I got a ton of work done. Can't really complain. It's 2 a.m. I need to rest. Shout out to my parents for having a garage. I really wish I had one, but the market will forever be thrashed. But we'll get this car back together. Pray that I don't have to buy a new front diff mount and I didn't strip the threads, but they look fine. But there's a possibility with me that that is realistic. Shout out to my brother that just left the door. I need to go home. I just want to shower and go to bed. I just had a cupcake, so that should energize me, right? Morning time. Today I have the day off. Let's just say I have plans. The girl would be angry if I don't come to those plans on time. So we're gonna get this done in the morning. I didn't get home till 4 a.m. So peep my new bedroom. Little house tour. Just moved in. This is my room. Maybe I'll give you guys a house tour later. Got a lot of great natural lighting, so that's sick. But I posted on Facebook asking if there was a cam bolt that would work and whatever in the hardware, like from a Toyota or Mazda, a more modern car that I could get from the dealer. I haven't even called the dealer yet. Homie Ryan actually has them and set them aside for me, which is super clutch in this situation because we're in a time crunch. So I'm gonna drive back to Rhode Island, go pick those up. It's like 45 or 50 minutes, but it's so worth it. Get that done. Then I need to get new nuts, and then we still need to hammer the chassis. Those are 3 things. And then obviously put it back in the car. I think. Small little thing I did notice. When I took off the passenger side rear caliper, I had to hammer it off. Not good. That means it might be seized, which is also causing some of my drivability issues. We're gonna put everything back together and then maybe get to drive the car before we have to do our task by a very particular time in the afternoon. And then we should be gooch, hopefully. But there's a chance that rear caliper might be. So, gonna get that all over, get that done, and then gonna clean up. I kind of look like a mess right now. Guys, I'm finally growing facial hair at 23. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, always had a baby face, I don't know. What's even crazier, so I was going through some stuff at my parents' house and about to throw some stuff out. And I found this broken front diff mount with the hardware and the washer. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, so maybe those nuts are good. I'm gonna bring them with me. Giving you a glimpse of the crib. Still a work in progress. Show you guys the living room at least. Got a couch. Got the Philips Hue, the Sonos Beam. 50-inch Samsung Q60. I used to work at Best Buy, so I know a lot about TVs. Or I did. But yeah, just working on stuff here. Got my records, magazines, Nintendo Switch. And then this is the office, currently working on that. Got a few harnesses and stuff we're working on here, but yeah, it's a work in progress. Just wanted to show you guys. That's the rotor from my car, actually. It has a dent in it, but yeah. So this is my driveway. you could fit maybe like 4 cars on here. So the FC is probably gonna live where the GTI is right now, and I'll park the GTI up front. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I have a pretty dope backyard. And obviously the subframe from my car, the original one, I took it out and brought it in the car because I knew I was gonna bring it to my storage unit. This daily has been great-ish, so I'm trying to just give you guys a little update on everything all at once. But yeah, let's go to the storage unit first. At the storage unit, you know, this is technically like my garage. FC windows, fenders, bumpers, wheels, stub shafts, axles, interior bits, stock ECU bits, blown turbo 2 trans. I don't have time to waste. Let's get this out of the car. Bolts acquired, and they look like they're in really good shape. Dude, honestly, oh, thank God. I like always will do my due diligence about shouting out people. I show my gratitude, but Ryan always, somehow, whenever there's an emergency, if you know anything about Mass or New England, like Mass, Maine, Rhode Island, this whole area, there's not many Rotary guys. There's not many of us left. He helps all the time. He just left it on his doorstep and it's like, just pick it up. So again, I'm super thankful for Ryan. If anything, follow him on Instagram and check out his build. His FC is insane. Very beautiful car, very well set up, and follow his stuff because he's honestly one of the most kind-hearted, best people I know, like out here. Just not even as a car guy, like as a person, he's amazing. So I'm very thankful. Thank you, Ryan, for this. Good news, bad news. Cam eccentric bolts on, good to go. Shout out Ryan. Bad news, well, I feared this would happen. The threads are either need to be chased if I'm lucky, or I need a whole new front diff mount. I'm gonna call PBM and see if this stud can be pulled out before I take a vice grip to it. God might be on my side. PBM still hasn't got back to me, but I don't think you can remove these. So it's M12 by 1.25 on this thread pitch here. I'm gonna need whole new nuts for this. I'm gonna go to Ace Hardware, get new nuts, get a chaser to chase these threads, and pray to God. The rear diff studs, the ones that are in the chassis, apparently are M12 by 1.0, which is like weird, like that doesn't like exist anywhere. So pray for me. To the homie Ben, shout out to Ace. Went there, got an M12 by 1.25 tap. The radio is being mad annoying. I just took a vise and just started tapping it. We got threads again. I just did it on the first side. That was pretty messed up, but luckily that works. So I'm just gonna do the rest at home with the proper tooling. But it was really tuning into that metal, so these threads were gonzo. I don't think I had the right nut on there in the first place. All right, after chasing these threads with this guy here, we have threads again, very smooth. Realize I only have one nut because if you've ever been at Ace Hardware, people just scatter stuff around. This is supposed to be M12 by 1.25, but it does not catch. So either the nut is messed up or it's the wrong thread pitch. So I gotta go back and get another nut, and I'll bring this with me to make sure that the nut actually threads through. And that saga's finally over. We got nuts in here, all new hardware. That's good to go. Let's get zooted, I guess. This is gonna be interesting to get back in. Always ask me, what's the best way to put an FC subframe? This is how you do it. Look behind me. Look at those 3 jacks in action. One on the left, one on the right, one on the diff. I'm not filming all this. You guys see me put in diffs so many times, or subframes. No subframe content. I ain't Tommy F yet. Thank God it's not scorching hot outside, but obviously we got the subframe back in. Camber arm is back in. All the mounts, the diff, all of that's back in. Putting the drive shaft back in, and then the exhaust, and then the brakes. And then I think we're good to go. Coilover is back in. Sick. I didn't even have to take the coilover out. All right, as you can see, the exhaust is back on, the wheels are back on, everything is literally back on. So I think it's time to test drive it and see if all this work was worth it, I guess. Almost didn't have brakes. I forgot I took off the caliper. Pedals feel interesting. You know, in reverse, I literally used to hear clunking literally at 2 miles. I'm not gonna lie, the car feels different. Interesting. The alignment's very off. I'm hungry. Let's go get food and let's go test this car out. And I'm gonna give my review. Me and my brother are gonna go to the gym after or whatever. I really need to eat. I'm so out of it, but need to get my exhaust redone. Need to get a lot of things redone. It is what it is. I'm kind of paranoid, and I don't want to say that the car might feel worse, but let me put some miles on it and really see what's going on. Also, I probably need to fill up my diff fluid. It's kind of whining in the back. But before, yeah, I don't want to get into that. Obviously, you know, I had to get Chipotle, and I brought the FC. I can say I don't really have complaints. I thought actually it was going to drive worse. If you look, the rear should be raised, so there's a little bit of rake. And that will probably help with drivability, raising the rear to fix the geometry and make sure the axles sit flush. So I'm gonna give you guys a point of view driving clip. Obviously you guys can't feel it. You really don't feel it unless thank you, I appreciate it. Kids love the car. Yeah, next clip I'll kind of show you guys a couple things as far as drivability, but I want to show you guys my cup holder too. Obviously if you own an FC, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so that's the cup holder. Passenger seat works great. Let's get going. Dude, in first to second shifts were horrible. I just want to show you guys like how planted this is and how much of a difference it makes. Overall handling is just way better. Dude, I swear, I wish I lived in the middle of nowhere. There's so many people. This car is mint. It's mint. All right, so I feel like I'm just gonna conclude this video here. Car drives definitely better. Power gets down. It feels like even there's more grip in the rear with the diff properly being mounted and making the changes and having the suspension being able to articulate after hammering up the chassis. That's really good. Solid diff mounts feel great. It's some slight MVH, but nothing honestly that bothers me. I really like it, and I really have no complaints there. Now, I do have to say, like, I did talk to other people that were having similar issues. It's particularly in like first and second gear when I leave the car in gear and the clutch is not depressed and I kind of get on and off throttle. That's where it can get a little dicey. Now, part of it's because of the welded diff, but I think we are going to probably continue this video in the next video, We're gonna try to install a full disc clutch. That being said, I have an ACT 6-buck and a racing beat lightweight flywheel, and my rotating assembly is balanced, so I'm not gonna take that into consideration. I also do have poly engine and trans mounts, if that's relevant to anyone that's trying to, deal with the same thing. But to be honest, with the 6-buck clutch, I have kind of learned to just clutch in when I need to clutch in, especially at low speeds in those gears. Because when you're on and off throttle, that also plays a factor. But at the end of the day, we did fix a major problem. We fixed a lot of issues, and hopefully somebody's able to take away from this. That being said, I got my beautiful lights here. I'm beat. I want to edit this video, or finish editing this video and upload this to you guys to finally make a conclusive thing. Maybe it will help somebody. I don't know. Good night, guys. I don't want to go to bed. Actually, I'm not going to bed. I'm going to watch something.
Spinning like a high chopper. And them boys give up on me, then you know how to pop it. Come up out the mud like I'm far from the rock. Biker boy swag, but I ain't riding no chopper. College shirt on, bitch, I'm told me I'm yapping. Sorry, bust it down for me, you're ratchet, not proper. Phone, cell phone, bitch, I twerk out the real. Extend the clip on me, bitch, it pull like a dick. Foreign cool slime, lane, I can't switch. Had a switch, other swag, boy, play, he get flipped.